Hello, my lovely students. I hope all of you are fine. And today we are going to study about Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Since this is one of the most important chapters of class 10, so we'll have two videos for it. So let us proceed. This is the flag of which country? Guess. South Africa. It was adopted on 27 April 1994 and it was designed by Dr. Mr. Frederick Brownell. When did South Africa gain its independence? South Africa became independent from Great Britain on December 11, 1931, but the British monarch remained head of state. On May 31, 1961, the country became a republic, severing all formal ties with Great Britain. After 1961, South Africa was independent of the European powers that had colonized it, but the colonizers in the form of the white elites that dominated politics and economics in the new country were still in charge. Although South Africa was independent, but still the whites were ruling. The country's black majority did not participate in the 1961 referendum, and they had few rights under South Africa's racist apartheid regime. They had very less rights. True independence for the majority of the country came only in 1994 when Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress came into power following a multiracial, multi-party elections. So the true independence was gained in 1994. What is apartheid? Apartheid, in simple words, means racial discrimination that was followed in South Africa or Southwest Africa. These white people, they considered themselves as superior and they dominated the natives. At that time we used to call them blacks. They dominated them in every possible way, whether it is politically, socially or economically. They did not care about anything. They considered themselves as white supremacy. According to it, white citizens had the highest status, followed in descending order by Asians. After the white people, the Asians were considered better, then coloreds, and then the black Africans. That means the black Africans, the natives, were considered at the lowest point of status. Do you know him? Most of you know, but for those who do not know him, he is Nelson Mandela. He was a great revolutionary. He was the person behind fully democratic elections. Election used to happen, but they were not fully democratic. Fully democratic means the black majority, that means the natives of that country, when they got the right to vote, then it became a fully democratic country. Now imagine in our country, we stop giving permission to a specific community just because they are maybe for any reason they're tribal or they don't belong to our religion or whatever our theory behind is. So would it be fully democratic? No. Democracy means when all the citizens, legal citizens of that country, when they get the right to vote in that case, and we do not discriminate on the basis of their political views or religious views, we do not discriminate, or gender. In that case, we call it democracy. So he was the person behind fully democratic election. And when these fully democratic elections were conducted, he was the chosen leader. And the best part is when he won the elections, for him there were no blacks, there were no whites, there were no colors, there were no Asians. They all were a part of South Africa. They all were equal. He never differentiated between any of them. So he was a great man. Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. It is an extract from the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. An autobiography is a book which the person writes about himself, about his whole life, about the events in his life. So, this is an extract from the autobiography. It is more philosophical. Philosophical means in this extract, he has written about his theories and some stories of his life. In class 10, this is one of the most important chapters. I'm reiterating myself, one of the most important chapters. The chapter is an extract from the autobiography of Nelson Mandela, the first black president of South Africa. Excerpts from Long Walk to Freedom include description of the inauguration ceremony, citations from his speech, his journey to being a freedom fighter, the struggle along with a tribute to other freedom fighters, and countless other people who fought for the freedom. So this chapter includes the inauguration ceremony. When Nelson Mandela was elected as a president of South Africa, in fact as the president of South Africa, as the first president of South Africa, on that day one inauguration ceremony was conducted. So this chapter has the description of the inauguration ceremony. Along with that, some part of his speech, not the entire speech, but some important extracts from his speech. Then his journey from a kid to be the president of South Africa. How did he go through it and how did he suffer? What was his vision earlier and how did the vision change? Along with that, he has also given tribute, paid tribute to other freedom fighters. See, if a country achieves freedom, it is not because of one person, it is because of many persons, many people who had worked together for that day, for attaining freedom. If India got freedom, it was not only Mahatma Gandhi or Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. They were a part of that team who fought against the Britishers. There were many freedom fighters like Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, and Subhash Chandra Bose. There were many, Mangal Pandey, there were many people. So on that day when he was elected as the president of South Africa, he paid tribute to other freedom fighters also. In South Africa, a brutal practice named apartheid was followed. Apartheid refers to the discrimination between people on the basis of their race, that means their color. It was one of the most brutal societies where dark-skinned people were deprived of the basic rights. Just because their complexion was dark, that is why they were not treated like normal human beings. They did not get the basic rights. This lesson gives us an overview that how Nelson Mandela, along with others, carved their way to a society where there was no discrimination on the basis of their color, caste, race, age, or gender. No discrimination. About the characters. The main character is Nelson Mandela, then Zenani, then Thabo Mbeki, the B is silent, and Mr. de Klerk. This is Zenani, this is Nelson Mandela, this is Thabo Mbeki, and Mr. de Klerk is not in this picture. Now, let us talk about the inauguration. It was 10th of May 1994, the day of oath with a bright and shiny sun. On the inauguration day, he took oath. Oath means pledge, which a person takes to fulfill. It means I'm promising the people of my country. So what are the promises that are spoken in the oath? Nelson Mandela took an oath as the first black president of South Africa. Why am I referring to this word black, black, black? There is a reason behind it. Earlier, these people did not even get the right to vote. Forget about standing in elections. He stood for the first time, they got the right voting rights, and He was the first black president. Before that, no one was the native president of that country. A large number of leaders from all around the world had gathered there to witness of the swearing-in ceremony of Nelson Mandela as the first black president. Not only the people of that country, but from other countries also people had come to witness that ceremony. The inauguration ceremony took place in a big open building in Pretoria where the first democratic non-racial government was to be installed. Now, this ceremony happened in a big open building in Pretoria. Pretoria is the capital of South Africa. Many of you will say the capital of South Africa is Cape Town, but technically or logically or basically there are three capitals. First is Cape Town, that is the legislative capital, then Pretoria, that is the administrative capital or the seat of the government. From there the government practices. And the third capital is Bloemfontein, which is the judicial capital. So in Pretoria, where the first democratic non-racial government was to be installed. So I hope the inauguration part is clear. The swearing-in ceremony of Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was accompanied by his daughter Zenani on that day. And Mr. de Klerk was the first person who took oath as second deputy president, followed by Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who sworn as the first deputy president of South Africa. So second is Mr. de Klerk and first is Thabo Mbeki. Nelson Mandela pledged to obey, uphold the constitution and to devote himself to the well-being of the people. He also promised to make the nation free from poverty, deprivation, suffering, and all sort of discrimination. He said, although I am a black president, I am in charge of this country now, but I assure you that no community will do any sort of discrimination towards the other community. There will be no discrimination. All human beings will be treated equally. Display of the military power by South African jets. When Nelson Mandela had taken oath, South African jets displayed the military power. They made a beautiful flag in the sky, and that flag was of South Africa. It also showed the loyalty of military to democracy. The highest military general saluted him. The highest military general saluted Nelson Mandela, and Nelson Mandela also recounted that few years back these people would have arrested me. It was followed by playing of two national anthems, and they sung two national anthems that day. They sang two national anthems that day. The white sang Kosi Sikalil, the old song, and the black sang Die Stem, the new song which marked the end of the ceremony. This was the last thing that happened in the ceremony. Apartheid in South Africa. Nelson Mandela reminiscences about days gone by which will soon be the part of history, where the whites had formed a system of racial dominance against the blacks, against the natives. It was the basis of the harsh societies which is now overturned. Now this is over. It is a part of history. The natives have suffered a lot, but that is the past now. Beautiful things are about to come. He says that the policy of apartheid created a deep, lasting wound on his country. Although it is over, but it's very difficult to forget what they've been through. This discrimination has created a wound in the hearts of South Africans. Although they are saying that we are equal, there is no discrimination, but then many people would be really hurt. Many people would be recalling their ancestors who have died. Now it is the system that recognizes the rights and freedom of all people. Now, the system which is being followed in South Africa, in this system, all people are equal. Now, just see this picture. For use by white persons, these public premises and the amenities thereof have been reserved for the exclusive use of white person. Now, imagine you go to a place, we all belong to Uttar Pradesh, and you go to Maharashtra, and you see a board saying that only Maharashtrian people are allowed to use this place, to go to this restaurant. How would you feel? You would feel bad. How does it matter if I'm from Uttar Pradesh? I am a human being. I want to go to this place. So this was the system that was followed in South Africa. Apartheid, racial discrimination. Only if you're white, you were treated as the important person. Regret of Mandela and remembrance of freedom fighters. On the auspicious day, Mandela regretted the loss of thousands of people and remembered their sacrifices for the freedom from discrimination. On that day, he recalled all the people who had lost their lives. He thought of himself as the sum of all those South African patriots who sacrificed their lives before him. He said, if today I am elected as the president, if today I am taking the oath, if today I am able to speak, it is not just because of my struggle. I am the face of all the freedom fighters who had fought for the basic rights which they should have got. He was pained that he couldn't thank them. And why he couldn't thank them? Because they were no more alive. He recalled great freedom fighters like, please note down these names: Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Chief Luthulu, Yusuf Dadoo, and etc., who were the men of uncommon courage, wisdom, and generosity. He said that a country's greatest wealth is its people. It's not money, it's not gold reserve, it's not petrol, it's not that crude oil. It's the people. If the people are there, if the people love the country is successful. The country is great. Goodness and duties of a man. So here we'll talk about two philosophies of Nelson Mandela. First is goodness, second is duties of a man. Goodness. Nelson Mandela says that love is a very strong emotion, because when a newborn baby is there, it does not know how to hate someone. All that baby knows is how to love someone. The baby loves his mother or her mother, or his father or her father, or his family member or her family member. The baby knows that only. The baby does not know how to hate. This feeling of hatred develops after certain circumstances. So love is anyhow a stronger emotion than hatred. And if we can teach someone how to hate, we can definitely teach that person how to love. And when did he realize that? When he was a slave, and the people who were working for the white community, the policemen, they were torturing him, brutally torturing him. But just for a second, he saw a glimpse of concern in one of the policemen. And that was the time when he understood that if I can change a man for a second, I can change him forever. So I hope goodness is clear. Let's proceed to duties of a man. In a normal country, in an independent country like India or America, or any independent country, a man, a human being, has two obligations. Obligations means duties. First obligation is towards his country, second obligation is towards his family. Now, your father, my father, your brother who's earning, or your uncle, they all are fulfilling two duties, one towards the country and one for the family. Now, in this coronavirus crisis, even today, we are fulfilling both the duties. By staying at home, we are fulfilling our duty as a citizen of India. And also, we are concerned about the family members. But let's get back to South Africa in the past. In that slave country, when a person wanted to fulfill his duty towards his people or towards his country, what used to happen? He was forced to live apart from his family members. Like Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh was a revolutionary. When he stood for the country, he was forced to stay in prison. So he could not fulfill his duty as a family member. So Nelson Mandela told all this because he wanted everyone to know that the freedom fighters have struggled on the cost of their own families. If you have attained freedom, it is because some people have actually sacrificed their duties towards their families. So I hope goodness and duties of a man are clear. True meaning of freedom by Nelson Mandela. When Nelson Mandela was a child, his family members did not tell him that you are a slave. What did they do? All the enforced rules were introduced to him as their family rules. For example, a park meant for white people, a park which does not allow black people to enter. They would tell him that, we should not go there. Our family members do not go to that place. They won't tell him that we are not allowed to go to that place. They would tell him that as per our family rule, we should not go there. So he had a very different definition. He thought that I am free as long as I am following my family rules. When he grew older, when he went to college, all he wanted to do was, for him, freedom was um, he can go wherever he wanted to go, or um, he can stay out if he wanted to stay out. That was the definition of freedom for him when he was in college. When he got married, he thought that he wanted freedom for his family. Now, instead of I, it was we, my family. We can go anywhere we want to go, or it was actually for his family. He was concerned about his family now. But soon he realized that not only him or his family, but every person who looked like him, they were suffering from that thing only. They were the slaves. And at that time, he wanted freedom. He craved for it because every time he thought that he's free. So at that point, he decided that he's going to join African National Congress. He craved for the freedom of his people. He desired that everyone should be given the right to live his life with dignity and respect. He wanted the oppressor and the oppressed to be liberated. As no one is free, if one is taking someone else's freedom, if some person is taking some other person's freedom, in that case also he is a slave. He's a slave of his own thinking. So only such feelings can bring true freedom for everyone. Every person should be free. Why do you want to make some person as your slave? Why? Significance of the title. Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom is a befitting title. It is an autobiographical account by this great leader and deals with the long and arduous journey he undertook to bring liberation to his countrymen. It is the walk from slavery to freedom. He had to struggle against the cruel apartheid regime. The entire extract focuses on the various stages of the walk that led Mandela and his countrymen to freedom. Stay home, stay safe.